asked on how to make Mexican rice, so I'm going to go ahead and make a nice pot of Mexican rice today. I'm going to make 4 cups of rice, and I normally use the Mahatma rice. It seems to be comes out nice and fluffy. So I'm using 4 cups of rice. I'm going to use 3 ripe tomatoes, some garlic cloves and some onion, some salt, some cumin, and the chicken flavor, chicken seasonings, and some canola oil. And I'm going to use 8 cups of hot water. So here we go. I put some oil in the stock pot. It's a fairly large stock pot because I'm doing 4 cups of rice, and that'll make about 8 cups total once it's done and made. And I'm going to let this oil heat up, and then I'm going to pour in the rice and start frying it. So the oil's kind of hot already, so I can go ahead and start pouring in my rice and start frying until this is golden brown. While I'm letting this fry, I am going to cut up and dice up my tomatoes and my onions, and simultaneously, mixing this all up and making sure this is all nicely fried and not burnt. And I put the lid on this while I'm cutting everything up. If you put the lid on it, it just makes it fluffier. So this is how it's coming along, golden brown. So I keep stirring this, and while I'm stirring, in between stirring, I'm cutting up the tomatoes and the onions. I've cut up some onions. I've used a half of an onion here. It's a large onion. And you don't have to make small pieces. You can make them tiny, you can make them large, but I kind of like them like this. I just like being able to find the onions. My son sometimes takes them out. And then the tomatoes. I do make them big. So it's not necessary to make them small and tiny. Okay, so there were 3 large tomatoes, and I prepared my 5 garlic cloves. Okay, so the rice is about halfway golden brown, but I added in the onion because I'm going to mix this in and allow the rice and the onion to be able to fry together, okay? So you want to go ahead and wait till it's halfway golden brown, then put in your onions. And once this is more golden brown and the onion is fried, then we'll add in the tomatoes. So the onion and the rice got golden brown, and I just added in the tomatoes, and I'm going to let this fry. So after I fried the onion, I just now added in the tomatoes, and I'm going to allow this to fry a little bit longer. The rice will get a little bit more golden brown, the tomato will become soft, and it'll start releasing its red juices, and then I'll add in the water, okay? And at this point, always put your lid on, especially in the tomato part of this process, because you want the tomato to release its juices. Right before adding the water, I'm going to say a good 3 tablespoons of the chicken flavoring. Okay, so it's going to be about 3 tablespoons of this flavoring. Now, you don't want to add too much, and this is not what's going to salt the rice itself. It's going to give it a flavor, but you're going to hold back a little bit when you are putting some salt into here, because this does have a little bit of salt. Okay. After adding in the chicken flavoring, I added 4 cups of water, and I'm adding the other 4. It's a total of 8 cups of water. Okay, that's all you need, is exactly 8 cups of water. I'm going to throw in my garlic cloves. Okay. I'm going to add salt to my rice. And you want to just put, and it's going to be all by feel on for everybody, because everybody likes their salt a little bit, or their meals a little bit different. So it's all, I always put my salt by feel, not by measure. So hopefully you guys can help. And last but not least, I'll be adding in my cumin. About a teaspoon of cumin in here. Now all you're going to do, after you add in your cumin, your salt, the garlic cloves, the chicken seasoning, you're going to mix this once, just like this. Then on high, your heat on high, You're gonna allow this to boil. That'll take about 5 minutes. Once this is boiling, we're gonna put the lid on top of it and we're gonna simmer it to a low heat and we're gonna cook it for exactly 15 minutes. With rice, you have to be very specific. So this started boiling, so what I'm gonna do is put the lid on it and I'm gonna set this timer for 15 minutes. And I'm gonna put the stove on simmer and wait. Okay, 5 seconds left for the rice to be done. And as soon as it's done, I'll turn it off. It'll be ready. So the rice was just turned off and I'm gonna go ahead and let this simmer about another 4 or 5 minutes. And that's just so that it can just finish fluffing up and getting really fluffy and whatnot. Okay, so this is what the rice turned out to be. Okay, this is about after letting it set for a little bit. This is the texture, authentic Mexican rice. This is ready to be served and eaten. Bon appetit!